All right, joining me right now from the Media Research Center is Dan Gainor. And, you know, I want to point out, I know John. I've always liked John. I know his politics, which is far more to the left. I guess what I'm taking issue with here, and I'm questioning you about, Dan, is why is someone like that actually on stage asking a question to the Republican field like that? And how is that allowed, frankly, by a network? I mean, how can you be the chief political correspondent at a place when you so clearly have an agenda?
Well, thanks, Trish. This is the major mindset of the media. And so it's not like he stands out. He's not a flaming Michael Moore leftist. He's just standard, fresh from the factory, media biased liberal. Mm-hmm. And so I think what happens is the people who chose the debate moderators on the GOP side were trying to scratch around the edges, see if they could salvage what we all know is a failed system. The current system of having so-called neutral journalists do the debate has failed for everybody except for Fox. And that's not a system that
I mean, at this point, would you say John Harwood is more, and again, very, very nice guy, but clearly has a bias. Would you say he'd be better off as a future as a commentator? I mean, just come out and say it, right?
Well, I mean, he works for the New York Times. They openly said that they've shifted their news media organization toward making one candidate win and one candidate lose. They are not neutral. People work at the New York Times, including several people I used to work with, people I consider friends.
What has happened, Dan?
There.
I only point this out because I think in old school journalism circles, you at least kind of tried a little bit to pretend that, you didn't have a personal stake in all of it and you weren't rooting for one side over the other. And now it feels as though actively organizations that were formerly prestigious organizations really are touting one candidate over the other, Dan.
Well, one, things haven't changed all that much. It's Walter Cronkite's 100th birthday today. And, remember he very famously said the Vietnam War was unwinnable right after we won the Tet Offensive. And he worked behind the scenes with Democrats then. Helen Thomas did it. Edward R. Murrow did it. It's not new that the people who lead the field are
maybe we're just exposing
lefties.
It more then. I mean, maybe, Wikileaks has basically caught this fellow over at CNBC twice in a situation where he's really reaching out to the campaign in a way that it's pretty borderline, Dan.
Well, it's not just him. It's across the board. I found 8 instances of times where the Clinton people, through WikiLeaks, were sure stories were going to be good before they were even published. You've got the communications people from Team Clinton saying, oh, we're positive this is going to be a good story. And we're talking about
So in other
CNN.
words, they've located their friends amongst the media, and they'll only talk to their friends.
Well, no, it's that most of the media are their friends. It's not that they'll only talk to their friends. It's that they could pretty much toss story ideas out to the mob, and they're all their friends, pretty much.
It's amazing to see. I sometimes wonder how it is or why it is. To be debated for another time, Dan, because we're out of time this go around. But thank you so much.